My name is Sarah Stone, and I live in Austin, Texas, and I grew up here, and now I work here for an education advocacy organization. Well, what I know about Antioch is one of the schools that, when I was in high school, that I looked at attending, and I wound up going to another school, but I was particularly interested in Antioch because I was fascinated with the emphasis on actually learning, that grades weren't necessarily an emphasis, but actually learning and critical thought were an emphasis, and that's what I really wanted out of an education, having come out of high school and being rather bored with high school and knowing I wanted more. But as I didn't wind up going there, I've always thought about Antioch and known about Antioch and known it's a really progressive organization until a couple of years ago. I moved back to Austin after studying and working in other states, and came to know a group of Antiochians here in Austin. And the people that I've met who've graduated from Antioch, all of them have just incredibly impressed me with the heart that they all have, the spirit that they have, and just the critical thought that they have, and the way that they're, I think, characteristically able to balance the interplay between head, heart, and hand. And I think that and being a human being is what we all strive for. And that the Antiochians that I've met have just greatly impressed me, and I'm so thankful that they live here and work here in Austin. I feel like Austin is a better community because of their presence here. And I think I went to a small school my first year of college that didn't have grades, and that really focused on reading and writing and critical thought. And then I went to a large university where I had 800 people in my classes. One professor had no idea who I was. I remember taking a psychology class and studying really hard and really knowing the content. Went and took the test and didn't do well on the test. And I realized when I took the test, it was a multiple choice, and it was testing for how closely I read the textbook and like examples in the textbook, but not for concepts and not for true understanding. Went back and studied the textbook the way that I thought, like, oh, hey, this is probably how they'll do the multiple choice test. Made a high grade on the test, but didn't understand the content. And I feel like Antioch is the exact opposite of, say, a testing environment like that or a class like that. That Antioch truly is dedicated to teaching students an orientation of critical thought. And if you have the ability to think critically, that really you can learn anything, and that your learning isn't dependent upon necessarily your teacher, but is dependent upon yourself, because you learn to be your own teacher. The young people that I talk to over and over again, what I hear consistently is feeling bored by school, feeling angry at school, feeling disengaged at school. And then actually I work with an Antiochian, and he teaches a class in high school, and how incredibly engaged and alive the students are in his class, because he teaches them the way that he was taught at Antioch. He teaches them with respect. He teaches them with honoring their expertise as where they may be coming from. He relates what they're learning in school to their lives. So he relates like the past, the present, and the future. And I feel like those wonderful teaching skills are skills that he cultivated at Antioch. And I think that increasingly our society is becoming more of a soundbite, media-oriented society, and that, and this is my personal perspective as a social worker, thinking about what we know that works in improving our society, that our society is complex. It's not black and white issues. And that if we're educating young people and educating ourselves to be black and white thinkers, we're not going to really get at how we can improve our society. We're going to continue to have these problems, that we need people that can actually grapple with the larger issues and handle complexity. And I think Antioch is a school that can teach young people to handle complexity, that can teach all of us to handle that. As a person, like, I really want to share that I think our democracy is founded upon having an educated, engaged civic society, and that unfortunately there aren't a lot of institutions like Antioch that push people to think, that push people to create, that push people to be innovators in their lives and really teach people that it is our responsibility to give back. And it would be a shame to lose such an institution in our country, and I honestly feel like it would be a moral failing of our society to lose such an institution.